Okay, well, thank you very much. Ito po, si Nico Fabian. Nandito ulit po sa programa natin, Nick Talk, The Real Talk with Nico. And today is June 27 na po. And it's Friday. Thanks God it's Friday. Last day of the working week. Last day of the working week. Kumusta kayo po? Especially ang mga kababayan ko po dito sa Malaysia. Particularly dito po sa Sabah. And very specific po dito sa Kota Kinabalu City. The lone city in Sabah is Malaysia. So, nandito na naman tayo and we'll be talking about some issues regarding itong mga hot issues dyan po sa Pilipinas. Especially tungkol ang sitwasyon or latest updates regarding ni former President Rodrigo Roa Duterte. And at the same time, we'll also be touching on the issue of impeachment ni Vice President Inday Sara Duterte, who is the daughter of Duterte or Rodrigo Roa Duterte, or fondly called by many Filipinos as Tatay Digong, or meron pa rin PRRD. Yon po, no? Karamihan. Once you say PRRD, it means si Tatay Digong. So I will be touching on this issue, and I'll be sharing with you some footages po. So in the meantime, bago sa lahat po, I just want to say magandang araw sa inyong lahat. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to whoever you are. Mga kababayan ko, mga Filipinos sa Malaysia, sa Pilipinas, at saka sa ibang-ibang parte ng mundo, especially itong mga overseas Filipino workers, our modern hero po. And of course, ang mga senior citizens natin at saka super senior citizens natin po, no? I hope you are doing fine. Okay na kayo po in all aspect, particularly sa health ninyo po. And siguro we include yung financial status niyo, no? Financial status niyo. And of course, mga politicians natin, mga elected leaders natin dyan po sa Pilipinas, I am praying and hoping that you will have a clear mind, focus, and you will do your responsibilities as elected government officials. Walang pabor-pabor. You will do it for the sake, for the love of our country, which we call the Philippines. Sa ngayon, marami tayong problema po sa Pilipinas. Nagdagdag pa ang problema ngayon dahil itong conflict between Israel and Iran. May gera din po dyan po sa Russia at saka ang Ukraine and some parts of and other parts in the world. And I hope and pray na matapos na itong mga gera, give peace a chance para okay ang mundo, okay na tayo po. No innocent people will be harmed or will be killed, no? Kasi alam na natin po ngayon na iba na ngayon ang gera sa mundo. It is no longer kagaya World War I, World War II, wherein ang gera po is face to face. Ngayon po, you cannot even see your physically see your enemies, except that you can see it sa mga video po, no? Sa mga screens ng mga sabihin natin na military involved in the war. So, mahirap na po. And if this kind of war will be further escalated, then there is, I hope, and I pray, na we are not going to enter another war, and this time around, it will be the World War III. And once may gera na tayo, World War III, then I think this is the end of the world. Dahil po, sa mga nuclear weapons natin po, kaya nga United States of America, being the country that is policing ang mundo natin, no? The most superpower country dito po sa mundo, so they make sure that wala na mga ibang nation who will be doing itong nuclear power program, nuclear program po sa mga nasyon nila po, so that the world will be peaceful, and ang threat of a war will be eliminated, if not totally. So anyway, Sige po, let's start ang programa natin. And to start with our program today, June 27, I would like to greet all our Muslim brothers and sisters, no? Be it in Malaysia, be it in the Philippines, and be it elsewhere sa mundo. I would like to say, salamat awal Muharram, or salamat Ma'al Hijrah. Today, June 27, the Muslim community are celebrating the New Year, are celebrating this occasion po. And this is for this reason that ang Malaysia is now has declared as a public holiday po. Wala kaming trabaho dito sa Malaysia, no? Dahil we are celebrating this Awal Muharram celebration or Ma'al Hijrah. Ma'al Hijrah. So, happy celebration to all our brothers and sisters. Be it in Malaysia, be it in Malaysia, be it in the Philippines, or elsewhere in the world. To all the Muslim faithfuls, to all Muslim communities, this is my greetings to all of you on this very special day, June 27. It is Awal Muharram or Ma'al Hijrah. Alright? Every year yan po ang celebration. Alright, this time around, let's touch on itong issue sa Pilipinas, and ang issue is first thing first. I would like to touch on mayroon na kahapon yata yun, no? May interview ang Russian media, ang Russian media to no other than ang Vice President natin, si Inday Sara Duterte. Excuse me. Dahil po, ang itong hot issues, controversial issues, shall we say, controversial issues or hot issues po, na nagiging hot topic din po, hindi lang sa Pilipinas, hindi lang sa Malaysia, but in other parts, internationally. And na-pick up ang Russian media po tungkol itong mga issue, impeachment of Inday Sara Duterte, ang case of Tatay Digong or PRRD or former President Rodrigo Roa Duterte, ang case niya po sa ICC or sa International Criminal Court. So they're also aware and knowing the fact that Russia is a friend of the Dutertes when Tatay Digong became the President of the Philippines. Of course, they are concerned and they want to know the latest updates or developments regarding Tatay Digong, regarding the daughter of Tatay Digong, which is Inday Sara Duterte. After that, we will be touching also on the impeachment of Inday Sara Duterte. So, don't worry. During this program, I will be sharing with you some footages, a portion of the interview of Russian media to Inday Sara Duterte, and at the same time, some footages regarding the impeachment trial of Inday Sara Duterte, anong latest developments dyan sa Pilipinas, and of course, sino ba talaga, who will be the next Senate President, Senate President dyan po sa Pilipinas when the 20th Congress will come to, sabihin natin, presence, no? They will, sabihin natin, they will perform their duties already po ang mga members ng 20th Congress po come next month ito po. So, nandito po. Let's listen. I will share first and foremost. I will share with you ang interview, a portion of the interview of Inday Sara Duterte. Diyan po. Interview by the Russian media. Nandito. Let's listen to this po. Let's listen. About Sara Duterte. Sandali, ha? Alright, Marcos, SP, Iran, Israel, okay. Saan tayo mag-umpisa? 158. Okay, 158. Tingnan natin ang 158 natin. And listen to this.
And indeed, you have your own concerns currently with an impeachment process against you in the Philippines. You say it's politically motivated. Explain to us what could these motives be exactly, and who do you think could be behind this?
Well, it's all about the refusal or the intent of of President Marcos. It is the intent of President Marcos not to step down. He wants to perpetuate himself or his family in power. It is clear from the moves of his administration against political opponents. And in fact, one of his relatives, and this is a personal knowledge of mine, has expressed that he wants to run for president. This all started with the People's Initiative, wherein they wanted to amend the Constitution to shift into a parliamentary form of government where the Prime Minister is not voted by popular choice. When they failed in this, they started the impeachment. And clearly, evidence shows that the members of the House of Representatives, many of them who signed, did not read the articles of impeachment. And one particular member of the House of Representatives already said publicly that there was money in exchange for the signatures in the articles of impeachment. Because I am the front runner in the presidential race in 2028, the survey shows that, and I think they want to eliminate the front runner.
Alright, yan po ang portion of the interview of Inday Sara Duterte by a Russian media. Tuloy din pa po tayo. Ang next video, brief lang ito po, no? Ano ito? Still with Sara Duterte and the Russian media po. Alright, saan na yan? Hold on. 48, 49. Okay, let's listen. Let's listen to this po. Let's listen. Kung mayroon daw po connection itong case of Inday Sara Duterte of impeachment at saka ang case ni Tatay Digong dyan po sa International Criminal Court. Let's listen to this interview. Let's listen to this interview. Hold on, ha? Hold on. Alright, nandito po. Nandito.
So do you think there might be a connection between the detention of your father and the impeachment process against you?
I believe so, yes. They think that if they take out former President Duterte, they will weaken me because it's one brand, it's one family.
The Philippine Senate recently returned the impeachment complaint to the House. What will the next steps be?
Well, I do not know with the Senate what will be their next steps. They required us to submit an answer to the articles of impeachment, and we did that. We submitted it the other day, and we're waiting for instructions from the Senate on what to do next.
Alright, yun. Okay, narinig na po. And there was that question, or this question, asked by the Russian media. Lady interviewer. Sabi niya, ano ba? Ano ba talaga ang plano ni Inday Sara Duterte regarding sa 2028? Is she running for president or what? Kasi whether we like it or not, sa Pilipinas, nandiyan tabla ang speculation, very strong speculation, that Inday Sara Duterte will be the front runner. And most likely, the winner, hindi lang front runner po, but winner, the next president of the Philippines after Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. will step down sa 2028. Ano talaga yan? And that is the reason why, sabi ni Inday Sara Duterte, kaya nga nandito na itong mga problema, mga problema trying to destroy or tarnish the name of Inday Sara Duterte, And the reputation, ang reputation ng Dutertes, mga Dutertes, and at the same time trying to destroy the image of the leaders o itong mga Dutertes sa mga supporters ni Duterte po. Dahil may connection ito po sa 2028 election. So ano kaya ang sagot ni Inday Sara Duterte when this Russian media asked her about her plans for 2028? Nandito po. Let's listen to the reply of Inday Sara Duterte. Para sa inyo ito lahat po.
I have not planned anything for the presidential race of 2028. Some supporters have given me a deadline of the fourth quarter of the year 2026. So that is when I will decide if I will run for president on 2028.
Your approval ratings are currently, well, reached 59% in March. What sort of public support have you received since then? Do you have a feeling that a majority of the Filipino people stand behind you?
Well, I do not know. I don't have the numbers. I don't have the surveys. But I am comforted by the fact that wherever I go, people express their support and their prayers for former President Duterte.
If we can just touch upon geopolitics for a moment, because the US often interferes in disputes between the Philippines and China in the South China Sea. I'd like to ask, what's your opinion on Washington's role in the region?
Well, for the Philippines, our constitution clearly states that we should have an independent foreign policy. So our relationship with the U.S. and our relationship with China should be two separate engagements, and we should not lean towards the U.S. for our problems with China, particularly our issues in the West Philippine Sea.
Yeah,
Okay, yun po. Sabi ni Inday Sara Duterte, may deadline sa kanya po. Fourth quarter of next year, 2026, wherein maybe she will be announcing whether she will run. Takbo ba siya as contender or frontrunner as candidate for the next president of the Philippines. So, hintayin natin po hanggang next year. Fourth quarter of next year. And then, dyan na po, officially, siguro malalaman na natin kung Inday Sara Duterte will really be a candidate for the 2028 presidential election. In the meantime, ito pa po, mga kaso that she's facing dyan po sa ombudsman ang investigation. Dyan po sa Senado, ang impeachment trial filed by the House of Representatives. Matuloy ba ito? Hindi matuloy? We don't know. Later on, we'll be touching on that thing. And what will happen to Tatay Digong dyan po sa ICC? Whether he will be granted ang appeal nila, ang bid nila for interim release or temporary release of Tatay Digong. Wherein if it will be approved, ibig sabihin po, Tatay Digong will be removed from the detention center of the International Criminal Court or ICC. Then he will be staying or hosted by a member country of the Rome Statute po, no? And may mga terms and conditions yan po. So far, wala pang decision ang ICC whether to grant ang bid ni Tatay Digong for interim release or temporary release po, freedom po. Kung sa Pilipinas yun, it's something like bail yun po. No? Pero sa ICC, walang yung such thing as bail. But there is also such thing as you can appeal, you can ask for consideration to grant interim release. Whether it will be approved or not, we will know. Pero ang gobyerno ni Bongbong Marcos through the Department of Justice, si Secretary Boying Remulla, sabi niya po na they are going to see, but they are against on the approving of the temporary freedom of Tatay Digong for reasons that sabi niya, mas maganda daw sana kung si Tatay Digong nasa detention center ng ICC for many good reasons. Of course, ang mga Filipinos, ang mga supporters din ni Tatay Digong, especially ang immediate family, ang members of Tatay Digong, and of course, ang supporters and members of the PDP Laban and other supporters, they disagree. They disagree. And anyway, let's see. Wait and see na lang tayo po, ha? Wait and see. Okay, continuation ang interview ni Inday Sara Duterte by the Russian interviewer, wherein she was asked to comment on Marcos independent foreign policy po. So let's listen to her reply po on the question of Marcos independent policy. Marcos independent policy. Let's listen to this.
Well, as you can see right now in the Philippines, clearly the administration of President Marcos is leaning towards the U.S. and is alienating China. And I really believe, and I've been asking for his explanation on where is the independent foreign policy of the Philippines currently. And I believe that the Philippines should not be involved in the cooperation and competition at the same time of the U.S. and China, being a middle power in the game of supremacy and domination. You need money and power, which the Philippines does not have at the moment. We will get to that in the future, but not right now. So it is best for us to stay in the middle. And as I said, keep our relationships separate and do not lean towards one country or the other.
Okay, yan po ang response ni Inday Sara Duterte regarding the issue of Marcos independent foreign policy po. Ang policy niya between this conflict between the Philippines and China dyan po sa West Philippine Sea. And the picture of United States of America coming in sa itong dispute between Philippines and China. Alright? So this time around, mga kaibigan, mga kababayan ko dito sa Malaysia, dyan sa Pilipinas, at saka mga Filipinos also in other parts of the world, especially itong mga overseas Filipino workers who are watching my program daily. Now, let's go to the issue of another hot issue ito po, no? Dahil malapit na po matapos ang term ng 19th Congress, and that will be on June 30. After that, we'll wait for the SONA, State of the Nation of President Bongbong Marcos, sa kailan ba yun? July 20 ba yun? 28 or 29? And then after that, mag-umpisa na po ang 20th Congress. Ang Senate po, yung mga 12 senators who won in the last midterm election last March 12, then they are going to sit as a Senate judges in the impeachment trial of Inday Sara Duterte. Kung matuloy ba yon or hindi, we have to wait and see po hanggang next month. In the meantime, sino ba talaga ang the next Senate President po? Importante yun po, Senate President. Incumbent ngayon si Senate President Chis Escudero. Noon, nanalo din po sa midterm election, return back of the coming, the return of Tito Soto. He was a former Senate President. So nakikita natin ngayon ang fight dyan po sa Senado to be the next Senate President. That will be incumbent Chis Escudero and the former SP or Senate President si Tito Soto. Now, let's listen to this report that I'm going to share with you regarding the issue. And involved ito sila Senator Alan Peter Cayetano. Let's listen to this very, very, very important interview or report made by our local media po dyan po sa Pilipinas. Hold on, ha? I'll try to see if how can I make it more close to you. Ha? Sandali. Okay, sandali lang po. Sandali lang, ha? Kasi I will try to make it as kung full na lang ako sa inyo, kung pwede ito po mas maganda eh. You hold on.
Alex, sigurado na raw ang panalo ng kasalukuyang Senate President na si Senator Francis Escudero. Yan ay kung tatakbo siya sa pagka-Senate President sa susunod na Kongreso o sa 20th Congress. Batay na rin yan sa mga senador na nakausap niya ngayong linggo.
Do hereby solemnly swear that I will well and faithfully discharge to the best of my ability.
Tiyak na umano ang pagkapanalo ni Senator Francis Escudero para maging Senate President sa 20th Congress. Kinumpirma ni Senator Alan Peter Cayetano na may sapat na suporta si Escudero para maipanalo ang Senate presidency race at lagpas na sa majority vote o 13 ang nakuha niyang boto.
But kung today ang election or tomorrow, panalo na si Senate President Escudero. Having said that, mahaba pa. Ano pa eh, fourth week of July.
Ayon kay Cayetano, si Escudero ang kanyang susuportahan pagpasok ng susunod na Kongreso at ito rin ang napipisil ng kanyang kapatid na si Senator Pia Cayetano. Nakita raw kasi nila kay Escudero ang prinsipyo at mga advokasya para iangat ang Senado bilang isang institusyon. Pero aminado siyang marami pang maaaring maging pagbabago dahil isang buwan pa ang lilipas bago ang pagbubukas ng 20th Congress.
I'm supporting Senate President Escudero. I think maganda ang takbo nung itong last year. Walang perfect kasi na majority, walang perfect na senador, Senate President. But pagka nakita mong may energy, may vision, may prinsipyo, di ba? So I've worked with the present candidates, but kayo naman ang witness, di ba? Until that morning, lahat naman pwede mangyari. Pwedeng magkaroon ng bagong kandidato, pwedeng magkaroon ng bagong coalition, di ba?
Sabi ng senador, may mga inalok na ring committee chairmanship kung saan mananatili sa kanya ang ilan sa mga hinahawakang committee ngayon sa 19th Congress. Si Cayetano ang kasalukuyang chairman ng Committee on Accounts, Higher Education at Science and Technology. Sa kanya raw pagkakaalam, tanging si Escudero at incoming Senator Vicente Soto ang maglalaban sa pagka-Senate President.
So to be fair to Senator Amy, hindi siya actively nagka-campaign, pero pag sinabi mong available ka, it doesn't happen madalas. Pero sometimes nangyayari na yung 12 pupunta sa iyo. But I think right now, medyo comfortable yung majority ni Senate President Escudero. Ang question lang is time.
Itinanggi naman ni Escudero na nililigawan niya ang mga kasamahan para manatili sa pwesto. Gayunman, hindi niya raw tatanggihan ang responsibilidad sakaling siya pa rin ang iluklok ng mga kapwa senador.
Ano mang numero meron ngayon? Sino man? Sa totoo lang, ang nagbabago yan, lalo na kung ganito pa katagal, may isang buwan pa. Will not shirk from that responsibility, let's put it that way. Hindi ko tatalikuran yung responsibilidad at pagkakataon na yun.
Okay, yan po ang issue ngayon dyan po sa Pilipinas tungkol sa sabihin natin itong who will be the next Senate President for 2020 or 20th Congress po. Si Maritain ba? Si Senator Chis Escudero? Or he will be replaced by another one who is eyeing for the post, si former SP or former Senate President Tito Soto. Tito Soto. So ngayon, based kay Senator Cayetano, if the election will be done for the Senate President today, 100% manalo na si Chis Escudero dahil mayroon siyang majority vote, and that is 18 members who will be supporting for the candidacy of Senate President Chis Escudero. But anything can still happen. Even ang possibility of Senator Amy Marcos to be the next Senate President, nandyan po. Depende na po yan po sa next month when they will be choosing ang next Senate President. Senate President. Sa inyo po, sino kaya ang magiging Senate President? Si Chis Escudero, si Senator elect Tito Soto, or maybe there is a possibility baka si Senator Amy Marcos. But yun kay Senator Amy Marcos medyo blurred pa tayo dyan po. Blurred pa tayo. But anything can happen, sabi ni Senator Alan Peter Cayetano. And na-reconfirm na naman si Senator Chis Escudero that if he will retain the position, then he will continue to do his level best as a responsible Senate President. Anyway, let me share with you itong news article which I got it from Inquirer.net dyan po sa Pilipinas. Ang headline, title ng news article is Cayetano warns versus rush dismissal of impeachment rep. Alright, nandito po ang detalles. Senator Alan Peter Cayetano on Thursday, and that was yesterday, agreed with Senate President Francis Escudero that the senators acting as impeachment court judges could vote to dismiss the case against Vice President Sara Duterte without looking at the evidence against her. But he cautioned against taking such a hasty move without waiting for the Supreme Court to rule on the constitutional issues she had raised against the impeachment. Sabi ni Senator Peter Alan Cayetano, so what the SP or Senate President is saying that it can be dismissed. That's a reality, Cayetano said in an interview with reporters. Just because we can doesn't mean that we should. Just because we can, it doesn't mean that we should. So we really have to take a deep breath and think what's best for the country. Cayetano was responding to concerns that the Senate, acting as impeachment court, might junk the complaint as soon as it convenes. Instead of allowing the prosecution panel of the House of Representatives to present the articles of impeachment against Duterte, the senator judges voted 18-5 on June 11 to return the articles of impeachment to the House of Representatives for a certification that the complainant followed the one-year ban against multiple impeachment complaints. The vote would have likely been dismissed the case if it had pushed through then, Cayetano said. You can start presenting evidence against the Vice President and only afterwards decide whether the court had jurisdiction in the first place, he said. Cayetano said the Senate must avoid taking shortcuts and ensure that its action can withstand scrutiny not only from the public but also from the Supreme Court. The articles of impeachment signed by 215 members of the House was sent to the Senate on February 5th. There were 3 earlier complaints filed in December that were not accepted upon by the House. The House accused Duterte of culpable violation of Constitution, betrayal of public trust, graft and corruption, and other high crimes related to her alleged misuse of 612.5 million pesos in confidential funds from 2022 to 2024, and for allegedly arranging the assassination of President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr., First Lady Lisa Araneta Marcos, and Speaker Martin Romualdez if an alleged plot to kill her succeed. Escudero was criticized for not convening the impeachment court and starting the trial forthwith, as provided by the Constitution. He had set the trial to begin on July 28 when the members of the 20th Congress takes their seats. In an interview on June 12, Escudero cited the expansive powers of the senators sitting as an impeachment court. The impeachment court can do whatever it wants to do based on the voting, and if anyone disagrees, they are free to take it to the Supreme Court, he said. In a press conference on Wednesday this week, he said anyone can make a motion to dismiss the case against Duterte or to convict her. As how the motion would be approved, Escudero said, the only time a simple majority is not required is when 2/3 is needed to acquit or convict. Escudero also later said that everything is possible in response to a question on whether the impeachment case could be dismissed without going through a trial. All motions are allowed. Don't focus on the motion to dismiss because the motion to convict is also allowed. Bagong Alyansa Makabayan Bloc or Bayan Chair Teddy Casino on Thursday said they were alarmed and worried about worried at the Escudero's recent statement. According to Casino, the Senate's role was to convene as an impeachment court, conduct a trial, and hand down a decision. The Constitution does not grant the Senate the power to dismiss, squash, or return the articles of impeachment on the procedural or political grounds, he said. The only way for the impeachment or for the impeached official to be acquitted is through trial, he added. The people deserve nothing less than the full, impartial, and transparent hearing of the charges against the Vice President. Any attempt to short-circuit this process reeks of political shielding and constitutional sabotage, Casino said. Duterte has asked the Supreme Court to issue a temporary restraining order to stop the Senate from proceeding with the trial, arguing that it would be an added financial burden on the government while there is a pending legal action by the court referring to her petition questioning the constitutionality of the impeachment case in view of the multiple complaints filed against her within 1 year. So yun po ang latest developments tungkol sa impeachment trial of Inday Sara Duterte. Pwede i-dismiss or convict si Inday Sara Duterte po, no? But it all depends on yan na po sa impeachment court po, no? Sa impeachment court. So may mga issues dyan po, no? Technical issues, but let's see po, no? Let's see and wait ano ang decision po next month. And ako po dito sa Nick Talk, the Real Talk with Nico, I'll make sure that whatever updates that we are going or I will be able to get from the Philippines through the various media outlets po. I will make sure that ang mga kababayan ko po dito sa Malaysia, particularly dito po sa Sabah, you will be immediately and properly be informed on the latest updates. So, ito po ang Nick Talk, the Real Talk with Nico. But before I'm going to conclude or end itong episode natin for today, June 27 po, I just want to share with you another footage po regarding ang war between Israel and Iran, and ano na mga comments ng mga international media po. Nandito, let's listen to this report. Brief lang ito, and I believe you deserve to see and listen to this footage. Nandito po. Hold on. Give me 1-2 minutes. 1-2 minutes. 252 ang code natin. 252. Hold on. Okay, nandito po. Let's listen to this footage.
TV, the studio where the Supreme Leader's speeches are aired, but not today. Not after Israel attacked it. Forcing the newsreader to flee, her desk devoured by fire. Today, a fiery message of his own from the Ayatollah, said to have sheltered in a bunker during the war.
Iran, with its iron national resolve, rejects surrender. For a country like this, the idea of surrender is laughable to anyone who truly knows the Iranian nation.
For now, a fragile ceasefire. Tehran starts to look like itself. Its infamous traffic, its beautiful bazaars, residents slowly returning to a city they left to escape the bombs. But for some, it's still a battle, just to breathe. In this ward, there are civilians, not soldiers. Murtaza shows his scars. He was working in the transport department when the entrance to the notorious Evin prison was bombed.
Israel lies, saying they are only hitting military and nuclear sites. They hit a prison. I was there. I was hurt. And I'm amazed countries like England, France, the US, and the UN don't condemn Israel.
The abandoned American embassy, a monument to Iran's troubled relationship with the West, accused of sponsoring terrorism, of trying to develop a nuclear bomb. Charges Tehran denies. But even inside this former embassy, a cafe serving iced Americanos. Amir tells me he wants to see a better relationship between America and Iran. So many Iranians do. But in this dark time, there's still not much light. The message in public was defiant, but this blackened studio symbolizes this dark moment in Iran, the most difficult and dangerous decisions confronting the Supreme Leader, the most fateful choices in his nearly 40 years in power. A new, uncertain chapter in an old, long-standing war. Lise Doucette, BBC News, Tehran.
Okay, yan po ang latest updates. Mayroon tayo, latest footage tayo. I managed to record for all of you po, no? And yun po ang issues dyan po sa Pilipinas. And tungkol sa updates regarding kay Tatay Digong, ang impeachment, ang kaso niya sa International Criminal Court or ICC po, and of course ang impeachment ni Inday Sara Duterte. So siguro with this kind of informations that I am passing to all of you dito po sa Nick Talk, the Real Talk with Nico, I hope that maski na paano po I managed to give you or inform you, and you will be able to have a picture of what is happening dyan po sa Pilipinas and dyan po sa issue ni Tatay Digong. And sino po, who will be the next Senate President and who will be the next Speaker of the House pa lang, no? Yung House of Representatives. Meron ba chance si incumbent Speaker of the House, si Congressman Martin Romualdez? And will he be replaced? Because ngayon po, mayroon na mga speculations, mga rumors that may challenger daw po si Congressman Martin Romualdez sa position ng House Speaker. Whether he will retain or he will not retain, depende pa yan po. Let's see. Let's see po what will happen next month. Next month. And let's all pray na sana lang po. Ito mga problema ng Pilipinas, problema ng mundo, problema ni Inday Sara Duterte, problema ng Congress natin po, House of Representatives, ang problema ng Senado po sa Pilipinas, ang problema ng mga Filipinos. Ang dami tayong problema po. Ang transportation, may problema tayo, ang corruption sa Philippines, ang pagkain natin po, ang presyo is still going up, and ang presyo ng gasolina po, no? Medyo mabigat dahil sa conflict dyan po sa Middle East. So let's all pray na matapos na ito po para at this, ano din tayo, we will be able to breathe naman itong problema natin as we going on. Sana lang po ang gobyerno natin, be it incumbent and incoming officials of the Philippines, newly elected po, they will have the right thinking, the right sabihin natin perspective nila po on really trying to help develop, progress ang nation natin po, ang Pilipinas, which we call, which we claim that we really love our country. Of course, we love our country. Isa lang ang country natin. So with this, again, I would like to say Happy Awal Muharram, Ma'al Hijra to all our brothers and sisters who are Muslim brothers and sisters who are celebrating this very special occasion. Today, June 27, it's a Friday. So with this, Nico Fabian would like again to say thank you very much for making me a part of your day today. Malaysia, Sabah, the Philippines, God bless us all, and I'll see you in my next episode. Bye!